Zachary Weiss from Pittsburgh Sports Now, just coming off of a 66-58 Pitt women's basketball victory over the Duquesne Dukes here at the Palumbo Center. It represents Pitt's ending a 4-game losing streak in the women's basketball version of the city game, as well as their first win at the Palumbo Center since 2008. So a couple of notable streaks definitely ended today, and they were done in rather impressive fashion. Pitt really controlled most of this game in a lot of stretches, and Duquesne had that chance, and it's a very upperclassman-laden team, and they were up 9 points in the third quarter, and normally that's game, set, match against an arch rival. But here Saturday at the Palumbo Center, that was not the case at all. Pitt was undaunted, unfazed, and they were very, very motivated. And it's something they mentioned after the game in their post-game press conference, was that this team just never gave up, and they played for one another. And given that Lance White's in his first year as coach of the Pitt women's basketball team, it's always hard to gauge how a first year goes and if it's a rebuilding year or what you can get out of your team. But it was clear on that podium that this team really loves each other, and they really play for each other. And they played fearlessly for almost all of the 40 minutes, and they were really pleased that they played a complete game. And the first half on the surface was not a pretty one by any means. You had 4 of the 5 Pitt players with at least 2 fouls, with Cassidy Walsh having 3, as a matter of fact. And then you had Duquesne, which wasn't picking up fouls, but they weren't capitalizing on those fouls. And a lot of the same refrain that you heard from Dan Burt earlier this season came through again today. You saw that Duquesne just wasn't aggressive enough. They might not have been playing for each other for a complete 40 minutes. They weren't following up misses. Shots were being taken with no rhyme or reason. The three-point shooting, again, was an unacceptable figure. Duquesne shot 19% in the fourth quarter that they entered tied with their rival. So all of that puts together, and it was a consistent reign, a consistent theme that you've seen throughout the season. And Duquesne is a 5-7 basketball team right now, and given what Duquesne has been for the last decade or so, it's kind of hard to fathom. And I think it's something that is very much wearing on staff and players alike. It's frustrating, and really it's embarrassing. This isn't a 5-7 team in their eyes, and too many ups and downs, and some of that's non-conference, but some of that is the same mistakes that are being made regardless of opponent, and they're not being enforced, and you're running out of answers. And at this point, 12 games, it looks like there finally is going to be some set of change. Dan Burt ended his press conference just a few moments ago from when this video was shot, and he said that change is coming, with a pause, and then said tomorrow. And it looks like there's going to have to be some change made. Something's going to happen, and you're going to have to ride hot hands. You're going to have to ride emotions, and you might have to wake this team up. This is a team that a lot was expected of them from outside, but more importantly, a lot was expected from itself, and they had every right to believe that. And this game showed that there is a long way away, and there is one game left, a Temple game, January 2nd, before Atlantic 10 play begins. And this is a broken team in a lot of senses. And that's not what you want heading into Atlantic 10 play. You want to have some answers. You could argue Duquesne might not have any answers. Pitt has all kinds of answers, and it's been a little bit of a pleasant surprise. You have Pitt in the non-conference season under a first-year head coach with 9 wins, and some of them have been very, very impressive. And Pitt's a team that came into this game averaging 60 points on offense. They had 9 points before the first media timeout. They scored the first 9 points in this game, and they've been struggling with starting on a quick margin. Duquesne struggled with having these early rushes, and they struggled again. And yes, they took the lead at the end of the first quarter, but that juice went and backfired. Some of the getting to the line, the foul calls there seemed to backfire. They almost at times looked like they forgot what they were doing out on the floor. And really, it's not an insult, but really it's the farthest thing from a compliment that you absolutely can get. And for Pitt, this is a great big momentum. They're headed to Notre Dame January 3rd to begin ACC play. Duquesne, this might be their lowest of lows. This is the first, you heard the streaks at the top of this video. Those are 2 big streaks, and this is a team that's used to postseason excellence. They're used to getting 20 wins in either a WNIT or even in one year the NCAA tournament. But this team right now is so far from that. The threes aren't going. The confidence isn't there. Shots are being taken with nobody there to rebound. It's very frustrating for the Duquesne fans, and this was the largest attended game that you could see at the Palumbo Center on the women's basketball side. It wasn't even close, and a lot of fans on the Duquesne side were quiet for most of the game, and it wasn't because of the ebbs and flows of the game. It was just that the offense wasn't working. The team at times looked very disinterested on defense, and those are very, very alarming signs. For Pitt, this is definitely the highest of highs. The smiles were all over the faces. these seniors, these juniors sat through so many losses and played through so many losses, and to get this win, you can only imagine how they feel. But for Duquesne, they lost on their home floor to their rival, and that's essentially one of the biggest cardinal sins in sports. You don't want to lose to your rival under any occasion, but especially the way Duquesne did today. And they're going to have to recover really fast. After Temple, A10 season begins. I said that earlier, I'll say it again, because the sense of urgency has to be there if it's not already. And right now, it looks like it's not. With sense of urgency, we will end this video. It's with David Haig behind the camera, Zachary Weiss, Pittsburgh Sports Now. Thanks so much, and have a happy, healthy New Year.